Hi, guys. Welcome to another Sunday Night Live. So, this should be live on Facebook and YouTube. Let me know if you guys are here. Just say hello. This is probably going to be a pretty quick live, although it is also an Ask Me Anything mostly. So it'll depend a little bit on how many questions I get, but I might cut it short. Okay. Looks like there's some people. Just post a comment for me. Let me know that everything is working. I'm going to go ahead and just start with a quick, just really all I say about canine fitness equipment, but I'm happy to answer questions too. As a small business, the Total Canine, who, hi Lisa Marie, is individually run by me, I have decided to support my friend and colleague, Katarina of Flexiness, and only use her products in my clinic from now on. I have been selling her products in the US and Canada for a while. I'm not a big distributor because I am mostly just a rehab and sports medicine clinic that occasionally gets products in for sale. I have used other companies' products in the past. I have been a consultant for other companies in the past. So I had some of them still in my stock. And with the latest announcement of equipment, I have decided to stop carrying their equipment. Whether you agree with me or not, it is a personal opinion that I'm only going to carry Flexiness from now on. So, hi Daryl, hi Cheryl, hi Leah. Thank you for joining. I am going to go ahead, hey Rebecca, and open up things for questions. So please feel free to start asking questions because that's, hi Tracy, really all I had planned. We can do individual talks about different pieces of equipment in the future if you want to. In regards to the twin disc specifically, Tracy Lanton of, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget the business name, but I'm going to look it up real quick, wrote an amazing blog kind of comparing and contrasting the old style versus the new style. So I shared it on my page. It's her website is coachforpaws.com, and it was a blog called Canine Fitness Equipment Comparison, which is really, really, really good if you have questions specifically about the older style twin disc versus the new style twin disc. What I am going to say just really quick of why I support Flexiness. One, I think Flexiness is the most innovative canine fitness company out there. I think Katarina is always working to improve her equipment. And given the fact that she is a both certified fitness trainer and animal physio, I think she has a lot of insight into what the dogs need and the design of the equipment, and works really hard to keep it up to date and make changes. So yes, she no longer sells the old style of twin disc because she has upgraded it to the new style, which is more appropriate for our dogs. So that's why I support them only at this point. Okay, Diane has a question. Hi, I totally understand your reasoning for source of equipment, but many of us already have some other equipment, specifically Fitbone. Do you see any particular problems using it? So no, I don't. I never had an issue with the use of that equipment. That's why I still had it. I was using it in my practice and with my own dogs. I mostly got rid of it because I just didn't want to be pulling it out for clients to use anymore, because I do feel like that shows support of the company. Not that there was any reason for not using it. But I do think a lot of what I had was redundant with the newer equipment. So yes, I think I don't need the fit bones anymore because I have the twin disc and because I have the paw disc. I think I can get as much out of those as I ever did with the fit bones. So I will say, of the fitness equipment that's out there, the things that I've really stopped eating are the peanuts and the donuts, which you will also see kind of matches up with Flexiness's product line. They have not sold peanuts for a really long time. I just don't see a use for that equipment anymore. And those, I think we have innovated and come up with better, safer equipment for our dogs. So yes, I long story short, you can still use Fitbone and discs and those things. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I just no longer want to have them. Okay. So Sue asks, what do you think of Fitbone's type inflatable equipment versus solid platform equipment? I think they're different levels. So I start out all my patients and clients on solid platform equipment. And when they are ready to progress, may progress to inflatables. I always see inflatables as a harder level than solid platform equipment. I think they can learn good form on solid platforms. And then when you're ready to make things harder, switch to inflatable. That's really where a lot of the different inflatables come in as well. I think it's just different levels of difficulty. I don't really see a lot of inflatables being specific for getting a dog to move a certain way or do a certain thing. Really, inflatables for me are more about just engaging the core muscles and the joint stabilizer muscles. Okay. What do you look for in fitness equipment? How do you know safe? So what I look for is, and a lot of it comes from experience. One, I just don't like anything that's really high. So like the peanut and donuts often are, they're very high off the ground. I don't think there's any benefit to height. I think height just makes things potentially more dangerous. Now, I do think in some rehab cases, peanuts definitely come to play, especially when you're dealing with paralyzed dogs, because they can be supports to help hold the dog up. And there are a few exercises that I will still pull out on occasion that I need a peanut for, but I never have a dog standing on a peanut because I don't see any reason to put a dog on that high of instability equipment. The other thing I'm looking for is more how the dog handles the equipment than inherent safety of the equipment. If a dog has a lot of, or a lack of, I guess, a little, self-control, and they're excited and like running to the equipment and the equipment's rolling, that would not be good or safe for me. So part of it is just also teaching the dog to be a little bit more respectful of the equipment and not just barreling into it. I'm also looking for slipperiness. So I feel like a lot of human products turn canine products. Like I'm thinking specifically like one of those aerobic step benches. For humans, it doesn't seem slippery. One, because we're probably wearing shoes when we use it, but suddenly when you put a dog on it, it is pretty slippery. So I think about things like that too, like if how I'm going to give it enough traction. Now I have ways of doing that. If I have a piece of equipment and I think it's too slippery, but I still want to use it, I'll throw a yoga mat over it, or even worst case scenario, like a bath towel over it to give it a little bit more traction. But that's really what I'm looking for more than anything is like, how is the dog interacting with it? Are they interacting in a safe way, or are they like kicking it across the room, rolling it? Then I'm going to get something more stable that's not going to go flying or rolling. So she says, good to know about the peanut and donut. I haven't been using that. I rarely pull them out anymore. And literally, I in going through all my equipment, I was like, "Oh, wow, I have, like, a whole bunch of donuts that I didn't even know about that are just put up on shelves because I haven't used them in so long." Rebecca, I never cared for the donuts, but I still do use the Purple Mountain from another company. Yeah, I mean, I use donuts more than peanuts, but again, very rarely. And mostly when I'm going to use it is looking for height. So, like if I'm ready to progress a pause up exercise, I'll pull a donut out just so I can get a little bit more height. But it doesn't need to be a donut. It doesn't need to be that donut shape. Um, I just want the height. So I could pull out a climb and put a paw disc on top of the climb. And then I've got the height and still the instability. Okay. Lena asks, can you please talk about substitutes for peanut balls? My Malinois is rehabbing a psoas injury and has some non-symptomatic lumbosacral stenosis and rehab. I think you can engage the core with just two low pieces of equipment, two twin discs, two paw discs. That's how I engage the core. I, like I said, I hardly ever use a peanut. I don't use a peanut for my iliopsoas cases. You can also stack a Cato board on top of two twin discs, and now you've got stable on top of unstable. So I don't. The only reason I would use a peanut is for an extreme like pause up exercise. So like I just need the height. But again, I think you can come up with other solutions like putting a different piece of equipment on top of a climb so that you've got the height without that, having to have a peanut. The other way I use the one place, like I said, that I use a peanut is for walking the peanut forwards and backwards. And that is due to the rolling nature of it. And then the other reason I'm going to use it is for my neurologic dogs to put under their body to help hold them up while doing exercises. Susan asks, what kind of platforms do you use for giant dogs? So right now I use climbs and Catos, and I just put multiple together. I do have some custom built platforms that I had made for me by a local person who makes agility equipment. And I just gave them my specifications of what size I wanted. They made it, and then we covered it in the contact rubber to give it grip. And that's what I've used. Now I am very excited to try out the new flexiness platforms that are coming out that again you can put together to make bigger and smaller, so they're adjustable for different size dogs. I have not had personal experience with them yet, so I can't give you any information about it, what I'm using it for yet, but I'm excited that those are coming out soon and I'll get to try them soon. But yeah, right now, if you can't put multiple platforms together, then at least for me, I've kind of been stuck to custom builds. Or you can always use an agility table, but again, that's kind of an extreme for getting a platform. Leah asks, with little dogs, I like the climb board idea. You said, yeah. I mean, part of I think with this equipment is coming up with ways to combine them, and then also thinking about like the different sizes, and that's again another thing that I really appreciate about Flexiness is she realizes that the stuff that is made for the average size dog is actually really big for little dogs, and so she's focused on making smaller products to help incorporate the ability for small dogs to do fitness without it starting off really, really hard for them. Oh, Susan asked, what were the specifics for the custom made? I think so. I know I had one for little dogs that I did 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. So like 1 foot high, like square cube. Um, I I'm guessing I said the bigger one was 2 feet, but as I say that, I don't think it's right. I know it's square. It might be 2 feet tall, but 3 feet top, like 3 feet by 3 feet on the top. That might be something I have to get back to you later, like actually go measure it and see. It's been a while since I had them made. Um, at the same time, I had ramps made. I had a bunch of stuff made because knew I was going out on my own and saw the opportunity to like get a bunch of specific equipment made that I knew was going to be very important for like the rehab side of my business, but there wasn't specific fitness equipment, right? Fitness equipment is inflatables, and I wanted stable stuff for the business. Okay, Tina asks, how did you get started on fitness for a 7-month-old puppy? I have one and he seems extra clumsy. Well, Tina, I start all my dogs, all my puppies with my Fitform building blocks. So that is just, I never remember the exact, I think it's 12 different behaviors that I make sure all my dogs or puppies, no matter what age they come to me, know before I can start putting them all together to create new exercises. So off the top of my head, you've got stand, sit, down, play bow, walk backwards, side steps, up, down, which is, so it's actually forwards, backwards, not just walk backwards, side steps, up, down. You've got left and right bends or circles. I know there's more. Oh, targets, front paw target, rear paw target, side targets. So if I kept my fingers straight, I think I got 11, but I want to say it's actually 12, so I might be missing one. But yeah, I start everyone out with my Fitform building blocks. And also, all my puppies get introduced to the equipment really young. So I think I have video of Finnick at 12 weeks old learning to put his feet on a piece of instability equipment. So that really helps with body awareness too. Tracy says, "Ooh, that would be a great online class." So I usually, when I do my beginner fitness classes, that's what it includes. I just don't tend to call it the Fitforms building blocks, but maybe I should. I do have a Fitforms building block PDF available to purchase off my website. So again, it's not a class, but it takes you through all the exercises, and it does have links to videos of the exercises. Awesome. Yay, good. And you got plenty to teach then, Tina, which is awesome. Okay, I'll see if more questions come in, but I amazingly got through all those questions. Oh, here's one from Sue. Putting together a dog gym area for fitness for agility dog. We'll also do work using one jump. I do have a lot of workouts with one jump in them. Flooring is an area rug on porcelain tile. It does not provide enough cushioning. Yeah, I wouldn't think that was enough cushioning either. Horse stall mats, they're 3/4 inches thick. So for my gym area, I bought 2 different things. So at my at home, I have puzzle pieces that go together. I want to say from Great Mats, but I don't know. Again, it's been a while. And then at my clinic, I got the rubber that you could roll out. So it was a little less expensive because I was covering a lot more area. But it was, I think, maybe it was probably around 3/4 inch thickness, but it was like rubber matting. I want to say that was from like California floors or California mats or something like that. Those are the 2 I've gone with. I really like them a lot. The ones for the clinic, especially, I didn't want the puzzle pieces because all kinds of stuff gets in between. And for cleaning at a clinic, not you want easy cleaning solutions. So the rolled out rubber mats really worked for me. I think it's actually the type is called elephant bark. And then for home use, the puzzle pieces were fine. I would just vacuum and they were out in my garage, and I wasn't too worried about stuff getting in between the puzzle piece lines. So that's what I use. I liked it a lot. I've had people tell me to definitely consider color, especially if you're going to be filming a lot. Um, I'm definitely not an expert at that, so I wouldn't be the one to ask of like what color is best to have on floor. Okay, Karen says, I love the flexiness Scentsy mats, but they slip around a lot. Any tips to make them less slippery? Or do you just use them on yoga mats? So I tend to use them a lot on top of equipment, and so then they're a little less slippery. I also tend to a lot of the places where I use them have more grip. Like I actually have a couple of rooms that I use them in that's carpeted, so I don't slip a lot on that. Um, yeah, so I think putting them on top of something like a mat, good idea. Um, that's about all suggestions. I'll think on that though, Karen. I might play around with it now that you've brought it up and try it on different surfaces to see if I can cook with it. Do you have anything else under the elephant bark would be thick enough to lay on top of? Yeah, mine is laid on top of the subfloor. That's all I did. Granted, I was, brand new clinic, trying to cut costs where I could. So most of my rooms, there weren't going to be a lot of activity. It was going to be mostly like exams and treatments, but the fitness room was the one that was, going to be the most active. But again, I think it was a little different, like being in a rehab clinic. There wasn't going to be a lot of jumping around. So maybe if it was more like a home gym, I would want something a bit thicker. The puzzle piece mats that I actually do at home are a bit thicker than what I have at the clinic. Melissa asks, is carpeted area okay for training, or do you need more cushioning? I'm okay with it. Again, I'm not doing, if I'm just doing fitness, I have no problem with it. I probably wouldn't do a lot of jumping, or if I was doing jumping, I'd put something else on as cushioning. So a lot of times when I'm doing jumping, I'll actually put like a yoga pad down where they're going to be like jumping off equipment, so they hit that rather than the floor. But yeah, I mean, I think if you watch a lot of my videos, you'll see that's all filmed in a carpeted area. Although I guess that's not true. I did put some puzzle pieces up on top of carpet, but at the clinic, carpet, at my house, carpet a lot of times. Ooh, okay, so Karen's using turf. Yeah, I can see it moving around a lot on turf. I've never used it on turf. We just finally got a turf facility, and it's all for agility. So, yeah. Shell says, I love my great mats in my center at home. In my center, I do have a layer of matting under them. Yeah, great mats are good. I'm pretty sure that's what I have for at home, but then I went with the elephant bark from like a California company for the clinic. So, okay, cool. All caught up again. You guys are asking a lot of great questions, but we're also getting through them really fast. So I'm thinking I'm gonna cut this off in 5 minutes. It was a quick 30-minute session. So if you guys want to throw in some more questions really quick in the last couple minutes, I'll try and answer. Otherwise, I will try to do these more often. I know I said that we missed a couple Sundays because of the holidays. I'm not going to do them every Sunday, but I think at least once a month it would be good to have these. So keep paying attention. I try to schedule them a few days in advance so that like warning comes up on Facebook and YouTube that there is a live coming. They'll also have to be scheduled around agility events because I'm not going to come back on a Sunday after agility and try and do one of these lives. So Leah asked, what was the company you suggested for equipment? So Flexiness Gangworks is the full name. It is a company out of Switzerland. If you just write Flexiness, Flexiness, Canine fitness equipment, it should come up. They usually have equipment through Clean Run in the US, sometimes have equipment available as well. Do I have any tips for making a recumbent dog comfortable? Like orthopedic bedding. So the biggest thing I worry about with like a recumbent dog is just kind of like people, the bed sore. So, like memory foam type thing that moves around the dog's body. And then honestly, like turning them a lot so that they're not developing bed sores. You can look at things like from dog legs. They have like the elbow guards that might be beneficial if they're getting like sores on their front legs. But I think, memory foam would be the best, and like lots of movement. And also don't be scared to like prop them up into sternal position as well. So like laying in a sphinx position with like big bath towels on either side to help hold them up. That they don't just have to be side to side. They can be up sternal too. Fitness for weight loss. It's just like with people, I think weight loss is hard. There's lots of factors. But the first thing that I think of is definitely cardio, like getting them out walking and doing more activity with full body movement, I think is the start. And then like low impact strength exercises I would add in until they start to, the weight comes off, and then can move into more higher impact exercises. Let's see, I've used cow stall mats for jumping. Yeah, I think stall mats work well for jumping too. Yeah, Tina, about the only thing, there's treadmills, swimming, you can also like ride a bike and they, jog alongside next to you. There are ways to make it a bit easier on you. But usually to get the cardio, you're moving with them. Louise says, I have 4 dogs who get the same fitness workout, but the oldest is 12 years old. At what point do I change her workout, and what changes need to be made for age? So I would listen to her. If she can still do it, keep doing it. I usually, for me with age, the first things that I'm going to change are like numbers. So numbers of sets, numbers of repetitions, and then lower level equipment. So, if I am doing like a really high pause up pivot or pause up sit to stand, for the old dog, I might go lower and have like just carpal height sit to stands. The other thing with older dogs is, do lower impact. I don't do as much high impact. I want to keep them, their joints feeling good. And then the other thing is, this is probably really far out for you if your 12-year-old is still doing the same fitness routine, but I started thinking about like lower duration, more frequency. So rather than do like a 20-minute workout with an older dog, split it up and do like 2 10-minute workouts in the day. Don't try and like push them through. Okay. Well, these were awesome questions. I'm really, really happy all of you showed up and joined me for this. I'm really, really excited about like bringing this Sunday Night Live back. I think we got one more question snuck in, and then I'm gonna run. Rebecca says, "Do you have an underwater treadmill at the clinic?" I don't. It is something I'm always on the fence about it. I'm a big proponent of you don't need an underwater treadmill for rehab. It can definitely benefit some cases, but I see a lot of cases do better without it because I think so many people think, oh, well, if I'm in the underwater treadmill, I don't have to do anything else. The other issue with it, and with it being my own place now, is the upkeep of it. Um, every other place I worked at with an underwater treadmill, we always had a count of like how many days since the last flood. Um, and how, I mean, it just breaks down constantly. So it's something that like I'm sure one day when I get big enough, I will get underwater treadmills. Right now, it is not on the horizon. And I will think about doing the online class again. I have to make sure I have enough time to put into it. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Always super fun to get to talk to everyone and answer canine fitness questions. So I will let you all go. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening, and I will see you down the road. Bye, guys.